Hello, everyone. I'm Alan Wenzel, Freepod host, thanking you for tuning in to this week's Freepod interview. On Saturday, May 23rd at 2 p.m., the village of Lena will conduct a special event to dedicate the Northwest Illinois Aerial Combat Memorial featuring an F-4 fighter. This dedication will occur just west of the downtown area across to the American Legion home and is the culmination of years of hard work to bring a dream to reality. One of the key persons involved in this project has been Bing Wells, lifetime Lena resident, a retired member of the Illinois State Police after having worked there for 30 years, but he's also a Navy combat veteran. Today, I'm pleased to be speaking with Bing Wells, who has graciously accepted an invitation to talk about the F-4 Jet Memorial Project, which honors the sacrifice and service of military veterans. Bing, thanks for taking time to talk to us today.
Thanks, Ellen. Nice to be with you.
I'd like to know just a little bit about the event on the 23rd, and then we're going to talk about how this jet got to Lena that you were a part of. So can you tell us a little bit?
We're going to recognize all the people who were actively involved. And if you come to the memorial celebration, you'll get a chance to meet them, and you'll also get a chance to see and hear from Major General John Borling of the United States Air Force, who was our keynote speaker. And the one thing that some folks are not aware of is that Major Borling spent 6 years as a POW.
Oh, is that right?
And what they affectionately, not affectionately, but referred to as the Hanoi Hilton.
Oh, right.
And he's quite a learned gentleman, involved in many things, flew many different models of aircraft. The F-4, which was one, and we got a chance to get our hands on an F-4 back in 2018. And the General Services Administration, federal government, allowed us how there were two left.
Only two in the whole country? Only two?
Only two available.
Oh, available.
That would be
okay.
Put out and perhaps taken by someone. And the F-4 is a marvelous jet set.
So
15.
You've got the celebration coming up on Saturday, the 23rd. Retired Major General Borling will be the keynote speaker, and you're going to honor veterans and people who have served in the military by dedicating this memorial. How did this idea get started to get an F-4, to find an F-4 and bring it to Lena to create this memorial?
Quite honestly, before my time on the committee, there were a couple of gentlemen from Freeport who were involved with another gentleman, and they read in some periodical that the age of the F-4 was fast coming to an end because they simply were not going to be able to use it anymore.
Okay.
And they decided to make some inquiries. And in January of 2018, the General Services Administration realized in their inventory they had two of them left.
Okay.
And
wow.
so the committee. Now there were some committee members who came on later. We had an Air Force captain who was a Gib, and you say, "What is a Gib?" And well, he was a backseater. He's called the guy in back.
Oh, kind of like the backseat driver, the guy in back.
And to make it a long story short, and it is a long story because with COVID and all the other things that were going on the past few years, it was a difficult slog getting through all the paperwork and
I bet the red tape was incredible to try to get a hold of this thing.
Incredible, and everything. As soon as you decide there's something you can do it, or you might be available to do it, or you might have the money to do it, suddenly it becomes a big hurry. You have such and such a time.
And do it now. You got to do it now, or
so many hours, whatever. And there you go. But we got it made, and we attracted people, largely service people, Navy, Air Force, Marines, to indicated they would like to serve in the committee.
Oh, okay.
And I had heard about it, and picked up the Shopper's Guide one night and looked at it and said they were looking for people to possibly assist. And I thought, well, I was a bomb loader and armament circuit checker outer, and as an aviation ordnanceman aboard aircraft carriers.
Okay, all right.
We had again, as I mentioned, we had our Air Force captain who was a backseat guy. We had fellows from the Air Force, the Army.
So you had members from all across the different branches of the service to
but not
involved in this.
Not a huge committee.
Okay.
Sometimes I think maybe you can get too many people on a committee.
That's a good point.
And we made it work, and we've been meeting year after year. And sometimes you think this is going to work or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to get this done.
Yeah. Did you have times like that where you felt like throwing up your hand saying, "Oh man,
absolutely,
it's not going to happen. We're not going to get it done."
Absolutely, yeah. It's just
but you persisted. You persisted.
Yeah. Yes, we did,
and kept after it. Tell me about you. You found this jet down in New Mexico. Is that correct?
Allen Air Force Base.
Okay. Was it just sitting in their back airfield space somewhere?
Sitting on the tarmac along with one or two others, and again, this is slightly before I got on the committee, or a couple of people that we added. We got enough people to do it, but the aircraft had just been sitting out on the tarmac.
Wow!
In the nice warm Arizona sun.
Okay.
And it was a mess.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought maybe that would help preserve it, but maybe it did and it didn't, huh? That dry Arizona heat didn't preserve it as well as you would have liked, huh?
but the F-4 was an outstanding aircraft for its time. It set 15 or 16 altitude and speed records. And some of the pilots affectionately referred to it as double ugly. The way the way the wings are tilted fore and aft, but it's
it was an effective aircraft for
it could
for
haul
the
a
Air
lot
Force.
it could haul a lot of ordnance, and if we want to, we could load 18 500-pounders on, plus four Sidewinder air-to-aircraft missiles and 4 Sparrows.
Okay.
So that was a loadout, and when they fired them off the deck, and the catapult it dipped a little ways going out in front of the ship.
Mm-hmm. Was the F-4 the main fighter jet on the aircraft carriers at the time? Was that the main aircraft that was used for carriers?
Yes, that was the main defender, and yes, as a matter of fact, it was.
So tell me how did you get the plane from, you found it in New Mexico on the tarmac at the Air Force Base down there. How did you get it from New Mexico up here to Illinois? What did you have to do to make that happen?
We contacted a company, eventually got put in contact with Worldwide Aircraft Recovery. And they disassemble airplanes and prepare them to be reassembled at another location. And if you get online and check the internet, there's a lot of planes that have been mounted on pedestal. The engineering company that we used drew up plans for us.
Okay.
And they were so well thought of that another outfit that was putting a plane on a pedestal, an F-4, said, "You mind if we look at those plans?"
Oh, really?
No, we didn't mind at all. We should.
Yeah,
we
sure.
And so they mounted theirs, and we've seen pictures of it. And the pedestal, the pylon that it's mounted on, is an exact copy of what we used.
It sounds like the trick is to find people. This company you talked about, this aircraft recovery company, find people who are the experts at knowing how to do this kind of stuff, and get them involved to move the aircraft, to design the pylon and get it all mounted. That you had to find people who knew what they were doing, didn't you?
Alan, I used to remark that we were like babes in the woods. Some things we're doing for the very first time that we could ever imagine. But we had the benefit of a lot of volunteers and a lot of businesses. For example, Koning's body shop in Lena.
Oh, okay.
They painted our plane for us.
Really? Yeah.
For nothing.
For nothing. Wow.
And
what a nice gesture that
rafters,
was.
We stored our F4 on the ground out at rafters when it was called rafters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For a long time, I remember driving by that and seeing that jet there. That had to be a couple of years sitting out there in the grass.
and we would think, we're not going to get this thing done. We're just not going to get it done. But we did.
Yeah. Well, even to move it around, to move it from rafters, or now it's Lena Brewing Company there, but to move it from that spot into town had to take some effort and some coordination and stopping of traffic and everything else to make that work.
That was quite an operation, and that garnered a pretty fair crowd in Lena again for good reasons. It was a momentous day when we finally pulled that thing into town, and when we got it in there, the moving company with chain falls and a crane from Lyons Well Drilling.
Oh yes,
got the thing raised up and bolted in, and it survived the tornado.
It did. I was going to ask you about that. It was right in the path of the tornado, and it came through it unscathed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Not a scratch on it.
Virtually a couple of the flaps got loosened up, which is fairly simple matter to get them re-stressed and put back in operation.
It was probably the most turbulence that plane had seen since it was in combat.
Well, the F4, there were, if I remember my math right, there were 5,195 F4s produced.
Okay.
Which the Navy used, the Air Force, and the Marines, and at least 10 or 11 other foreign countries.
Oh, really?
Used it.
Oh, interesting. Who was the manufacturer of that? Was that McDonnell Douglas? Or
yes.
Was it?
Yes, McDonnell Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a workhorse and flew in all kinds of weather.
I'm guessing, Bing, that when you see this plane mounted, and I'm sure the memorial or the dedication for the memorial on the 23rd will be very emotional for those of you who served and are familiar with not only the plane itself, but the war and all that was happening at that time. It's got to be an emotional. It will be an emotional event for all of you veterans who served with that plane in the war.
Every one of our committee members, virtually to the last man or woman, has a story to tell about driving up Main Street in Lena. And I did one day, like I often did, head to the project. And when we already had the aircraft mounted, and it was, and a gentleman who I don't think realized that I was there, stopped adjacent to got out with his cane and went up, and he was reading the paver blocks with the inscriptions on them, and then he walked up to the pylon, and he had a jacket over his shoulder, and you could see him leaning against the pylon, and his shoulders were shaking.
Oh, wow!
And he was having quite an emotional remembrance of the time. And everybody has a different story, but what this becomes, people say, "Why did you do it?"
Yeah.
Why did you? Well, I don't know. I guess the cemeteries are full of memorials to people, remembrances, and it just, quite honestly, there's something very cool about seeing an aircraft that used to fly mounted on a pedestal in a takeoff position.
Yeah, it looks like it's flying. It does. It's amazing. Yeah, it's a great, and to be able to get that close to it also to you, because for those of us who didn't have the same experience that you did, Bing, we've only seen pictures or videos of the plane, but to be able to get that close to it and see its size, and it's actually its majesty in some ways of how it's designed and how it's positioned to take off for flight. It's a
Majesty is a good word.
Yeah, it's a neat memorial. And congratulations to you and the committee, Bing, for all the work that was put into making that happen. As you said, 8 years. 2018,
from 2019 to
wow
to now. It's
and what has been as you look back over it. There have been some challenges, I'm sure. What has been the most rewarding aspect of this whole project for you?
overcoming the challenges.
Overcoming the challenges. Well put.
For example, COVID hit us
Oh yeah,
hard,
yeah.
and the supply chain went to pieces, and we couldn't get things. We were fascinatingly lucky to get the steel for the pylon. And one of our committee members, Denny Luke, was responsible for that. And we all worked at preparing the aircraft. And like I say, Konings and Lena were invaluable, and they painted the plane and supplied the paint.
Oh wow,
which is not cheap.
Wow, is that special aircraft paint that you have to use?
It's got numbers that I don't recognize.
Yeah,
but Steve and Brenda were their crew. We were consumed with how we were going to get the aircraft clean.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody said, "Well, you can't do that with just a bunch of young men and running around with sponges and no,
and some Dawn soap.
Pressure wash it.
Oh,
wash it, and it cleaned it right up. And now people have wondered why sometimes you see the Air Force version of the F4 in camouflage, and that's usually the way they were.
Oh, I see.
They were in the cam, but we decided that ours would simply be gray and be more generic. All the services flew gray ones.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The Navy was primarily gray.
Okay.
The Air Force had their gray ones, and as well as the Marines. So we wanted to make it somehow retain an appeal to anybody in whatever service they were in.
So it wasn't going to be for Navy guys only or for Air Force guys only. It was going to be for anyone.
Well, we have a little fun with our Air Force, but my brother was in the Air Force, incidentally. But just said, you know who flew it first? The Navy flew it first.
Oh,
it was a Navy plane, and the Air Force was wise and very smart. They said, "Nice plane you got there.
We want to use it too.
We want to use it too." and they did. As a matter of fact, they came out with the model that we have sitting up on Main Street in Lena is an F4E, and that is an Air Force F4.
Okay. F4. Okay.
And people will see numbers on it: 64, which was the year, 68, which was the year it was manufactured.
Oh, I see.
And 450 was the sequential number.
What's it called? The Phantom?
Phantom 2.
Phantom 2.
Phantom 2.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Or as we used to say, double ugly. But we meant that in an affectionate way. Yeah. All you got to do is when you're on the flight deck with them, you got to be careful and have your head on a swivel, because those J-79 jet engines put out a lot of thrust, and
if you weren't paying attention, it'd blow you over.
It didn't happen to me, but it's happened. A young man got run over and lost his life getting too close to the catapult when flight operations were going on. So it's kind of a hairy business sometimes, and if you get too close to a jet intake, you need I say more.
Yeah. Well, let's remind listeners of the event coming up on the 23rd. Bing, it's going to happen at 2:00 in downtown Lena, at the west end of downtown.
Right adjacent to the American Legion home.
Right adjacent to the American Legion home.
And we're going to have the Lena Lions mobile stage.
Oh, sure.
On the hayrack.
Mm-hmm.
And
John Borling will be the speaker, retired Major General John Borling.
John, the major asked us how long you should take, and we said, Major, you take as long as you think is necessary to get your point across what you want to talk about.
It'll be a fun event and a very stirring and inspirational and moving at the same time. I'm told that people should bring their own lawn chairs to sit, to be comfortable. So
it's
you're
like
not
at the
standing.
football games. People like football games some of them like to sit in their lawn chairs.
Sure.
Which, since the field is renovated over at Lewin, it's a little different system now. But anyway.
And in case of inclement weather, we want to mention this too. It'll be held at the Lewin High School gymnasium.
Well, the floor sustained some damage.
Oh, it did. Okay. All
so
right.
I don't know if we're totally pinned down. And it'll be one. Right. It'll be one of those buildings.
One of the buildings over at the school.
Right.
Okay. But we'll just hope for sunny, bright weather and a nice day, and it'll be a fun event. Bing, I want to thank you and your committee, too, for all the work that you've done to make this happen. This dedication of the Northwest Illinois Aerial Combat Memorial, which will feature this F-4 Phantom jet, which is on display there just off of the downtown. Not only thank you for your work making the project happen, but thanks to you and all the other veterans who have served our country and made sacrifices in a lot of ways for the rest of us. We appreciate that too.
We appreciate the recognition. It was a labor of love.
Yes, it was. And we'll get to share in that labor of love on Saturday, May 23rd. Bing, thank you so much.
Thanks, Alan.
Our best to you and all the people who were responsible for accomplishing this project. And to our listeners, would like to invite you on that day or over the weekend to stop and think a little bit about our military veterans.
They can buy a paver brick.
Oh.
We still got plenty of paver bricks out around the memorial that people recognize relatives with, or just anybody else.
So you can still be a part of the project,
yes.
Even. So if you come out and be a part of that, what a wonderful way to add your individual contribution to that project. That'll be great. And so Memorial Day's ahead of us. Take time to honor military veterans from all branches of our service, and get out to Lena to take part in this wonderful dedication of the Aerial Combat Memorial. And with that, I'd like to remind you that our regular news podcasts happen every Thursday at noon on freepod.org or your favorite streaming platform. And to remind you that interviews such as this one that I've had with Bing Wells today drop every Tuesday at noon on those same locations. And our thanks go out to the Mass Communications Department at Highland Community College for producing these podcasts. Thank you, everyone, and have a good week.